I got home from the hospital yesterday. It's been an awful few days, to say the least. I won't tiptoe around this detail though. It's not something I'm proud of. I'm an addict, and have been for a long time. This isn't the type of PSA you're thinking of. Please bear with me, don't get me wrong. Drug addiction will ruin your life only to swiftly end it. I've seen it tons of times before, but that's the least of my worries right now. Everyone has their own way to escape their life. For some, it's something as innocent as a TV show or a book. Others turn to pleasure like sex or food. Relatively early on in my life, I turned to opioids. I had an injury in high school and got some prescription painkillers. That was the start of it for me. It really does feel like a spider's web. It's so easy to wander further down that road, lost in the pleasure and carefree, but leaving again is almost impossible. At least that's how I feel about it. 2 nights ago, I was spending my time escaping. By that, I mean I was in my dark, run-down apartment, sitting on my couch as the TV flickering its light onto me with a band around my bicep and a needle in my forearm. There are many types of opioids. My particular weakness, as I'm sure you can gather, was heroin. I'm not picky about how I take it, snorting, smoking, injecting. As long as I get my high, I don't care. But injecting it is instant. As soon as I press down on that syringe, my troubles left me. The best word I can use for it is euphoria. My achy body doesn't hurt anymore. I'm not sad, lonely, or scared anymore. I just feel calm and good. I sink into my couch, exhaling all of my worries. It's sad to say that moments like these were the happiest I had in a long time. After drowning in bliss for a while, my vision started to blur. My breath went in and out more and more slowly. My body felt heavy like a bag of sand. The TV sounded so distant, like I was hearing it underwater. For just a second, I realized what was happening, and I remember being scared, but it was too late to fight it by then. I died that night, laying there on the couch, in my filthy clothes. It was fast and slow all at the same time. I felt my life slipping away, being pulled away like water draining from a bathtub. Thinking about it now, I'm so ashamed. What a truly pathetic end that would have been. I'll skip ahead to answer the question I'm sure you're thinking. I wasn't dead for very long. By some miracle, my best friend had come to check on me. He found me near death and called an ambulance, but there was an eternity between these events. I never really put much thought into an afterlife. Why would I? For most of my life, being high was my god. That was the purpose I served and chased after. Sure, I had heard about heaven and hell, but not only did I not really believe in them, I didn't bother to consider them in my daily life. Those thoughts were as far from my mind as they could have ever been. But from what I very recently learned about most interpretations of an afterlife, I think were wrong. At least the how I experienced didn't fit the descriptions I've read since I woke up. My soul didn't go to any fiery pits of wailing and weeping, nor cloudy, beautiful skies adorned with angels and harps. In fact, it didn't go anywhere at all. I think that's the scariest part to me. I was dead slumped on that filthy couch, and I would have rotted there. But I didn't go anywhere. I was stuck in my own body, a prisoner in a cell of my own meat and bone. I could still feel through my cold skin, see through my glassy eyes, hear the TV chattering across from me. But I couldn't move. I was stuck looking at my ceiling. Noise was still slow. as if the movie was running at less than half speed. My lungs still burned for air, and my eyes screamed for me to blink, but I couldn't. I tried to think of a way out of this. Maybe I could will my body to work again. Maybe I could force my lungs to breathe and my heart to beat. But my body wasn't my own anymore. It felt like I was trying to push down a house while numb on, fully awake, fully aware, but locked inside a body that refused to obey. After what felt like years of struggling, I gave up. This allowed for panic to fill me. I was dead. They were going to bury me, or worse, cremate me. I thought I would be doomed to exist as a soul within a corpse forever, hidden away in the earth and forgotten. I tried to turn my attention away from my pain and fear. I tried to think of my family, my parents, and siblings. I would never speak to them again. I wanted to sob, but my body remained a useless pile of flesh. I spent an eternity there on that couch. I went through every thought I could ever think, every regret I had replayed endlessly. I cursed myself for wasting my life. I lamented my horrible fate. I dreaded that there was no escape. The concept of eternity crushed me with more weight than the bottom of the sea. Death was no sweet release. It was an unending nightmare. My mind had time to shatter, to splinter into 1,000 pieces, and then put itself back together again. Finally, my friend found me. I watched him through unblinking eyes as he shook me, called my name, and begged me to wake up. I knew I wouldn't wake. I watched him call the police, and another eternity later, I watched them try to revive me. They used Narcan to bring me back. Time sped up, life crashed back into me like a tidal wave. I sat upright and gasped for air. I blinked until my eyelids hurt. I sobbed, cried, and screamed in terror and relief. I begged them not to let me die again, not to let me be trapped. They carted me away to the hospital, trying their best to calm me and stop my nonsensical begging. The doctors told me I wasn't officially dead, at least not at first. The state I was in before my friend found me is what's known as temporary death. Breathing stops and your body begins to shut down. All in all, I was clinically dead for just over 3 minutes. That's how much time passed in between my death and my revival. 3 minutes felt like countless lifetimes. I know one day I will die permanently. Nothing in this frightens me more than death, than an eternity of imprisonment within myself. I will do everything in my power to never experience that again. I've decided to join a church. I'm going to sell everything I have and dedicate myself to God. I have no idea what else I can do. Still, the idea of eternity terrifies me. The concept that I could experience this for millions of years, and I'd still be no closer to freedom than I was before. It's scarier to me than anything. I can't help but think of a book I read in high school, The Divine Comedy by Dante Alighieri. It's about the afterlife. In it, hell has a gate with an inscription that reads, "Abandon all hope, he who enter here." I've learned firsthand why. If this was hell, there is indeed no hope to be had. Maybe what I went through was hell. Whether or not it was my own personalized hell or not, I don't know. That thought sickens me most of all. Does all of humanity share what I saw? Is every grave filled with a soul? Is every mausoleum a prison for some damned person, locked in their own corpse? I don't want to consider it. The implication that our world is filled with the living dead, tormented people who have spent countless years suffocating without release or peace, and will spend infinitely more It's too much for me. I'm never touching heroin again, or any drug. I will hold on to this life. I have for as long as I can, and when I do go, all I can do is hope God will save me from my flesh.